Fearing he'd be poisoned by the woman he once loved, Simon Patterson decided to pull out of the fatal lunch, alleging, "I thought there'd be a risk that she'd poison me if I attended." That's what Simon told a pre-trial hearing here at Melbourne's Supreme Court, months before his estranged wife Erin's triple murder trial began in Morwell. It's a hearing the ABC could not report until now. So last October, here in the witness box, Simon explained why he held those fears as police laid out its case, alleging Erin had attempted to murder him 3 times, accusations she has always denied. All 3 alleged incidents happened around camping trips less than 2 years before the lunch, where Erin had prepared food for Simon that he alleges made him sick. The first was in November 2021. He ended up in hospital after eating penne bolognese. 6 months later, in May 2022, at Halkwa in Victoria's High Country, Simon alleges he fell sick after eating a chicken korma curry. He was treated in hospital and initially recovered, but days later ended up in a coma at Monash Hospital and required life-saving surgery. And then at Wilson's prom in September 2022, Simon alleges he passed out and was hospitalised after eating a vegetable wrap. He says he confided in a doctor that he thought Erin was trying to poison him, and he began tracking his meals in a spreadsheet. A relative also told the court in the days after the Leongatha lunch, and with the guests close to death, Simon held a family meeting in the Austin Hospital's chapel and told them he believed his illnesses had been a deliberate act. He stopped eating Erin's food but never thought others were at risk, which is why he didn't warn his parents when they agreed to Erin's invitation for lunch. The source of his illnesses was never confirmed. The defence told the court a professor who analysed Simon's medical records at the time of his 3rd illness concluded that his symptoms were consistent with low potassium levels. Prosecutors told a later hearing that it had commissioned another report from the professor after an article was found on Erin's computer relating to barium carbonate, a rat poison. That second report indicated the sudden onset of Simon's illness was also consistent with barium carbonate poisoning. Erin Patterson has always maintained her innocence and pleaded not guilty to these charges. In pre-trial hearings, her lawyers argued she would face unfair prejudice if both sets of charges, those related to the lunch and those connected to Simon, were heard at the same time. The Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal agreed, ordering the trials be split. With one Court of Appeal judge saying the evidence of the lunch charges appeared stronger than the evidence of the Simon charges. He said it's a very short hop, skip and a jump to convicting on the other 3. The prosecution then dropped all charges relating to Simon, so they were never brought to trial or tested in front of a jury. During the Morwell trial, while the jury was out of the room, Simon referenced the dropped charges and his grief. "I'm sitting here half thinking about the things I'm not allowed to talk about," adding, "It is what it is." Michaela Ortolin, ABC News, Melbourne.